Hey buddy, it's Mike here. Today we're talking about Star Wars Battlefront Collection. I didn't even know this game was coming out until about a week ago. It's a pleasant surprise considering, the newer Battlefront games and what EA has done with them. The newer Battlefront games are heavily microtransactionally based. Like a lot of the stuff you unlock, you had to, pull your wallet. And I know they kind of changed it at the end there, but it was way too far done. There was too many loot boxes and there was too many transactional barriers in order to enjoy the game. The original Battlefront collection really amazes me how when it goes to show how core gameplay really goes a long way. The new Battlefront games they obviously look gorgeous, but when you look at the gameplay from the original Battlefront games, it delivers, right? And and also when you're buying the original Battlefront games, you're getting a full package. You're not spending all this extra money on loot boxes or whatever DLC. And back then they released games in full packages, and I think it's great that they're re-releasing this. So anyone who hasn't had a chance to check out the original games, I know there's a lot of new Star Wars fans, and they've only been exposed to the Disney EA side of things. It'd be really good for them to kind of be exposed to this kind of game, and as it truly feels complete, unlike the newer Battlefront games, some of the crap released by EA. And I don't say that lightly. I tried very hard to enjoy the new Battlefront games, and it's just, you're just spending money, or it's just too much of a grind, and it wasn't enjoyable whatsoever. Here you have everything available to you, and the best thing about this game is you got the best battles in the Star Wars universe, from Bestman from Empire Strikes Back to the Kashyyyk, the homeworld of the Wookiees, to Tatooine. There's all sorts of different variety in terms of different wars you can take place in, and it has all of this no matter which faction you are. So tons of content in this game, and just the way they did the levels and the level design is just something special. So you have all the heroes, all the classes. Heck, you can even do there's even maps where you have ground warfare. In Battlefront 2 you have ground warfare and aerial combat at the same time, and they haven't been able to pull this off in any of the newer Battlefront games. It's really silly to think that EA had this opportunity and they kind of squandered it, because playing the original games really makes you think, what if EA didn't take over? Would we get another exceptionally great game like Battlefront 1 and 2? So it was great to revisit this. I'm going to talk a little bit of the ports now. So this is not a remaster or anything, it's just a ported game. They ported it onto the console PC, and they've added new servers, so now you can play upwards to 60 people per match. And I'm gonna be honest, in terms of the multiplayer, it's really not working very well right now. And if you're looking to get into the multiplayer, I would wait a bit before buying this. It seems like they need to hash out some issues, and there's tons of lag. But however, the single player seems to be functioning well. There's a few glitches here and there, but otherwise, it's still a lot of fun, and it's great to play Battlefront again. Now you can have servers upwards to 60 players at once, and that's going to be a lot of fun. I haven't got into the multiplayer too much. I'm just kind of waiting until they fix things, and then maybe I'll go back to revisit. But honestly, I know I played this game back in the day, and I didn't really mess with the online too much, and I'm more than satisfied playing around with the bots. But I know a lot of people are pissed off because they wanted to go right into multiplayer and try out the 60v60, but they're not able to do that just because of the state the servers are in. And not to mention, they only really have 3 dedicated servers right now, so not looking good on Aspire. But I really look forward to having huge chaotic battles in the maps that we know and love. And not to mention, they actually upscaled many of the textures, so you're going to see improvements overall in terms of shadows and just graphical quality across the board. I mean, it's not going to look anything near as the newer Battlefront games, but they've definitely upscaled the resolution, and it definitely looks a lot better than it used to. And the great thing about it is it's always at 60 FPS, even on the Nintendo Switch, which is amazing. So I know I'm definitely going to pick it up for the Switch as well, just to have that portability to be able to play Battlefront wherever you go. That's going to be awesome. And not to mention, you can play, it'll be one of the better online games on the Switch just in general, so that's also very exciting. And another weird thing at launch, another con I noticed is for the flying, it kind of forces you in this inverted mode, and I don't mind that personally because I used that for some games back in the day, but I know that's going to bother the heck out of some people. So I'm sure they're going to patch this out just within a couple of weeks, or it's probably very easy for them to fix. But just one thing to keep in mind, probably by the time you listen to this review, it's already patched out. And content wise, you're going to get a lot of the same that you had in the original game, which is a great thing. Like I said, they had everything available to you. They're even including the two, I wouldn't say new heroes, but they weren't included in the release of the original games, and that's Kit Fisto and Asajj Ventress. So you can actually play as those two now, just from the get-go. Now, overall, in terms of value, are you really going to get your money's worth by buying the Battlefront collection? Well, right now in Canadian dollars, it's $47. So that's not full price as your normal AAA game, but it's a little bit up there. And these are older games. That being said, I think you're going to get tons of value. Between these two games, there's so much content and so much fun you're going to have. So I'm going to highly, recommend this in terms of just the overall value proposition. It'll probably be on sales as well, so you can also keep an eye out for that. Now, I got to be brutally honest, as I always am in this channel, and kind of talk a little bit about the cons. So, as you know, all the textures are upscaled, and it kind of has this effect where you kind of notice, how bad the graphics were. And maybe back in the day, this game was like top of the line graphics. It was everything you'd want, and you look at it today and it really wasn't what you imagined it would look like. Back in the day, it was good stuff, but I don't think the graphics aged super well in terms of like the environments, but at the same time, it didn't age completely horrible as well. The upscaled textures really helps. Another thing too I have to say is just the AI is just dumb as bricks, man. The AI will just run randomly and just stand at certain points of the map, and they'll just run into your shots, meaning like just without any thought. So that didn't age too well at all. And in terms of game modes, this game has everything you want in a Battlefront game. You have like your Galactic Conquest, and you can play through each faction you want. So, and each faction has its own kind of like storyline, but it's not in your face like the new Battlefront campaign. It's more subtle, and more, the way they did it was just perfect. And so yeah, that's where I'm spend most of my time playing, is through Galactic Conquest. And then in Battlefront 2, they kind of expand on Galactic Conquest, and you get to unlock units and stuff like that. And it's just tons of fun. Anyone who enjoys Star Wars remotely is going to get tons of value from this. Yeah, it also has co-op. They also made it so the hero battles, so you're not restricted to one map. The original hero battles were limited to Mos Eisley, but now you have different maps you can do the hero battles in. So for that's a great positive change there as well. But overall, I'm going to highly recommend this collection. It really is a good tribute to how games used to be. Games used to be complete and in a full package without all this unnecessary microtransactions and stuff like that. It really goes to show EA is really greedy, and it's really sad what they've done with Battlefront. I think EA probably would have even made more money if they just made a proper game, and they really didn't have to do much. All they had to do was, they had the framework. All they had to do was release a game in completion, and it would have been good. But no, they did all this extra stuff, and they made everything locked behind microtransactions, and they completely ruined it at least in my opinion. I find these newer Battlefront games just pretty much unplayable. And yeah, one other little thing I noticed about this collection is the size. So I believe it's upwards to 60 gigabyte, and for a game that's almost 20 years old, I find that really special. Especially, I mean, like when you look at the textures, you don't really see what makes it like such a large game. And you have games like The Witcher 3, and it's literally as large as a game like The Witcher 3. So it's not very. I don't believe it's very well optimized in terms of the file size. That's one other little nitpick I can find. But otherwise, yeah, if you're a Star Wars fan, or you haven't even played the originals, definitely check it out. And if you have played the originals, I think the nostalgia is worth it, and you're gonna have a lot of fun anyways. If you can get past some of the dumb AI and just have fun like we used to in games, then I think you're gonna have a great time, and you can get tons of value out of this one. But that's all for this review. I appreciate you checking out my channel. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing. It helps a lot. And yeah, we'll see you on the next one. Bye.